Hey guys, got another Tinder story. I actually haven't decided which one I want to tell yet. I thought I would sort of get into talking and let it decide for me in the moment. My knowledge of editing these types of videos is how to cut off a few seconds in the beginning and a few seconds at the end. So everything else is just, it is what it is. And that's why I have 3 cats. They're constantly running around here. They've got their little bed toy thing in the back. So if you hear noises or my cats show up, it just is what it is, because I've looked into the idea of editing. It is not anything I want to get into. And so I've decided to roll with this like podcast style talking so that I don't have to do that. I have turned a disadvantage into my advantage. Now that's my style. Okay, so I have 2 stories I'm sort of oscillating between. I think I will go with the most scared I've ever been on a Tinder date. So there was this guy that I was seeing. We had seen each other maybe for 3 or 4 months, and he lived in Norman, Oklahoma, and that's like a 30-minute drive from here. So the times that I saw him, I traveled down to Norman to see him, and he lived in the smallest house I've ever been in. And I'm not knocking him. It was cool, and actually the yard and stuff was like laid out really nice, but it was like 300 or 400 square feet. It was tiny. Anyway, it's hard to sort of talk about this part of the story, but the reason we fell out of talking to each other is because one night when I was at his house and we were in the middle of a moment, he did something I didn't like, and I left, like right in the middle of the moment. And it's what needed to happen at the time. But he contacted me about a year later through text or whatever. He messaged me and said, "Hey, I have my parents' house in Norman. Why don't you come down and hang out for the 4th of July?" I was like, huh. It's like they have a pool, they have a hot tub. Just come down and hang out. We'll have some food, whatever. I was like, oh, as long as we're not venturing back into dating or messing around with each other or anything like that, like I'm not into that. So if that's what you're after, then no. But he presented it as, let's just hang out. And I was like, okay, that I can do. So I went to his parents' home, and it's in a really nice neighborhood in Norman. It's lush lawn, really tall trees, very well-established neighborhood, and it screams wealth. So I'm just picking up that his parents they appear to be wealthy people, and they're out of town traveling. So when I get inside the house, he shows me around. They have really cool artwork, not just artwork on the walls, but really neat statues. It's a little bit like an art museum in a way, because all of their artwork is really neat, and it's good quality enough that they have the little lamps that come out and hang over the art, shine back on it. So it was really, it was a great place to hang out for the 4th of July. This year I made like an American flag cake. And so I took that down there, and I took some food and things like that. And the night gets going, and he tries stuff, which is not like an unexpected thing necessarily, but like I am absolutely so far beyond that. Like that's not happening. So I sort of nipped that in the bud, but we were still, I was still determined to have a good time. So later on, we got in the hot tub, and we're just talking about really all sorts of different things. And he mentions to me that he wants to rent out his parents' house, the one that we're in, on Airbnb while they're traveling. And he's like, all my friends are like, yeah, you should do it. You know, you can make some money. And I'm like, I mean, I don't want to be the voice of reason here, but you can't do that. Like, that is so wrong. They have all of this nice art and it's their personal space. You can't have random strangers coming in here without their knowledge. So this was just the first of the evening that made me think, okay, I was definitely right to move him out of the way. And he said, you know, that's why I like you. You always seem to kind of do the right thing. It's just like, oh, I mean, I feel like I really shouldn't have to say that, but okay. So the evening was fine. Honestly, I feel like we had a pretty good time. We listened to music. You know, we were in the hot tub. We listened to music. I put my feet in the pool. We had some American flag cake. It was all really good. And then I had agreed to stay with him or stay at the house. We actually did sleep in the same bed, but it was very off limits. Like, by the time he came to bed, he just passed out anyway. So we're sleeping in the bed and I wake up in the middle of the night and it feels like I'm in an oven. It is so hot in this house. I'm like, I gotta get up, find the fan, something, because I'm so hot, like I'm about to be sick. That's how hot it is. Couldn't find the fan. I thought, okay, well, I will venture into like the living room, or right now I'm just gonna go to the kitchen and get a glass of water because I've got to get out of this like heat box that's back here. So I make my way down the hallway into the kitchen, and when you get into the kitchen, off to the left is the patio door that goes out to the pool, and then around the side of the house is the hot tub. So as I step into the kitchen, someone starts pounding on the patio door. Just this. And keep in mind, I'm half asleep. It is pitch dark in this house. And it scared me so bad. I was like, I don't even know, like, I don't know what's happening here. Somebody's breaking into the house. Do I need to call the police? Like, that's where my mind is. This is not, like, I don't know what's going on. So I went back to wake him up, and I was like, you have to wake up. Something is happening. Somebody's trying to get in the house. And he wasn't wanting to get up. Like, you have to get up. Somebody's trying to get in the house. So he finally gets up, and I try and kind of stay out of the way because, like, I don't know what's going on. So I see him go to the door, and I see that there's a woman on the other side of the door. And so he opens the door, and he has a few words with her, and then he closes the door and locks it. And then he walks right past me, back to the bed, and he's asleep within 10 seconds. Like, I still have no idea what's going on, other than I'm figuring out that hopefully this is somebody that he knows. So he, falls asleep, and I wake him up again just to find out what happened. And he looked at me with, like, he didn't know me. Like, I think he was just trashed, is my guess. But he first looked at me like he didn't know me, and then he yelled at me. And I was like, all right, sorry for trying to save your ass, but whatever. So he went back to sleep, and I'm like, I can't. This is too much. I'm out of here. And it's, 3 or 4 in the morning. So I get this idea, like, I've got to round up all my stuff, get it all together, and I'm taking off. So I get my things from the bedroom, and I go into the kitchen to get my kitchen stuff. And then I realize, I'm like, I can't, like, I don't know where my socks and shoes are. And then I was like, oh no. They are by the pool, where there's now a random woman kicked back in a pool chair. Like, oh geez, I don't even know what to do. So I go back to the room, and honestly, I'm just like questioning my life decisions right here at this point, and like, he is no help whatsoever. So I see the woman walk from the pool around to the side of the house to the hot tub, and I see the lid coming up, and then the next thing you know, she's just camped out in the hot tub having herself a good time. And I'm inside like, barely able to breathe. So I ended up, once she got in the hot tub, I was like, all right, I'll go out there and get my shoes and socks. And so I did. And then the next thing you know, I was in my car headed home. And so he texted me the next morning and said, what time did you leave? And I was like, 3. And his next message to me was, sorry about my ex-girlfriend's mom. I was like, this is why you don't remain friends after you break up. Whatever caused you to break up, you just don't go back to it. So that is the most scared I've ever been on a Tinder date. So I will say stay safe out there, ladies and gentlemen too. You never know what you're going to get into. Hope you enjoyed the story. Peace out.